Hello, this is Umayma from Kezakoo, and today we are going to be covering our Unit 3 English lesson. The topic of today is about education. We will be talking about vocabulary and specifically types of education. So, before we start, I would like to let you know that when we talk about education, we talk about three main types of education. We have formal education, non-formal education, and informal education. You don't have to worry about that. We will discuss this in more details in the lesson. I would like to let you know that we need to make a difference between non-formal and informal. Okay, so let's start our lesson. When we talk about formal education, it refers to the types of learning that are taking place in an educational institution where there is a syllabus, a teacher, and that is usually recognized within a qualification or certificate. So, in order to go more into details, when we are talking about formal education, in another way, we're talking about an educational institution where there is a syllabus. So what we mean by a syllabus is a program. So for example, when you're going to be having some lesson, your teacher would be telling you this is not a part of the program. We do have a teacher, and at the end we have a qualification or a certificate. So formal education is mainly the very normal type of education that takes place within a classroom. In order to go more in details, فاش كنتكلموا على formal education تندويو على education تتكون في قاعة ديال الدرس اللي هي كتكون في مؤسسة تعليمية تابعة لوزارة التربية الوطنية، فين تيكون فيها واحد البروغرام، واحد البرنامج، فين تيكون فيها المدرس، واللي في النهاية ديالها كيكون فيها واحد الشهادة اللي كتكون معترف بها. فباغ اكزامبل في الاخر ديال التعليم الابتدائي تتكون عندنا في السادس الشهادة ديال الابتدائي، مورا الكوليج تتكون عندنا ثاني الشهادة، ومن بعد ثاني في الباك تتكون عندنا شهادة الباكالوريا. دونك هادشي كامل تنعنيو به formal education. And then we have the non-formal education, which refers to learning programs that are organized in school-like settings, but that are not part of the formal system education. So what we mean by that is that for non-formal education تهي بحال formal education تهي عندها school-like settings، تتكون في قاعة مدرسية، تيكون عندها مدرس، تيكون بروغرام، ولكن هي ماشي غنقولوا بصفة رسمية اللي في الأخير غادي تعطيك واحد الدبلوم ولا واحد الشهادة. For instance, to take some examples of that, we can be talking about the basic education for children or adults that are not attending schools. So, for example, محو الأمية تعتبر non-formal education. Why? Because it is taking place in a classroom, within a program, with a teacher, but it does not deliver a formal certificate at the end of the schooling. And then we move to informal education, which refers to any learning resulted from activities that are related to our daily life and that are outside of school-like settings, and that would help us acquire knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. So what we mean by informal education هي أي حاجة غادي نتعلموها ولكن في الحياة اليومية ديالنا خارج على القاعة الدراسية، واللي غادي نتعلموا منها المعرفة غنتعلموا فيها مبادئ، غادي نتعلموا فيها طريقة تعامل، غنتعلموا بها الشخصية ديالنا. ولكن هنا الفرق ما بين formal and non-formal إلا أنها ما تتكونش داخلة واحد الإطار مدرسي. And now we're going to be more specific about a type of education that is called a vocational education, and it means an education that prepares the learners for careers or for professions that are related to a specific trade, job, or occupation. So vocational education is meant for people who are willing to have a professional career right after the degree that they are going to be receiving. So المثال ديال vocational education هو المثال ديال لو اف بي بي تي اللي كيفورمي الطلبه والتلاميذ ديالو باش يولجوا لسوق الشغل. اذا تتكون هذيك الدراسه واحد الدراسه اكثر تطبيقيه واللي كتمكن الطلبه ديالها من انهم يولجوا لواحد سوق الشغل بواحد skills اللي هما that are specific. And now we can talk about special education, which describes an educational alternative that focuses on the teaching of students with special either behavioral, health, academic or physical needs, and that those specific needs cannot be met using the traditional programs or techniques. So when we're talking about special education, it's an alternative, and what we mean by alternative هو البديل ديال واحد التربية المدرسية اللي ما غاديش تكون في مؤسسة عادية او لا في قسم عادي، وهي كتكون مختصة بواحد واحد الطلبة ولا واحد التلاميذ اللي عندهم يعني عندهم either behavioral ولا health or academic ولا physical needs اللي مؤسسة عادية ما يمكن لهاش تمكنها لهم. And now we talk about inclusive education, which is the one that addresses the learning needs of children, youths and adults, especially those who are vulnerable and that deal with exclusion and who are marginalized. So when we talk about inclusive education, we talk about an education that would include even those who have not easy access to education. هنا كنعنيو بها يعني انك تمكن واحد الطلبة اللي ما عندهمش لاكسي للدراسة انهم تاهما كتمكنهم من انهم يدرسوا. يعني كيقدروا يكونوا مؤسسات اللي مثلا بعيدة ولا نوع الطلبة اللي كيحسوا من واحد نوع من الإقصاء وكتمكنهم من أنهم هما يكون عندهم access لهذا education. And then we can talk about gifted education, which is a broad term for special practices, procedures and theories used in education of children who have been identified as gifted or talented. So here كاين واحد نوع من الطلبة اللي تيكونوا جد متفوقين واللي عندهم مواهب واللي تتكون عندهم واحد specific education باش يقدروا يواكبوا الموهبة ديالهم والتفوق ديالهم الدراسي. And then we talk about basic education. So basic education is the whole range of educational activities that are taking place in various settings. So it could be formal, it could be non-formal, and it could be informal, and the aim to meet the basic learning needs such as reading, writing and arithmetic. So when we're talking about basic education, we are talking about the basics. The basics يعني كندويو على التربية ولا التعليم الأساسي اللي نورمالمون أي واحد خاصو يكون عنده، اللي هما reading, writing and arithmetic يعني الحساب. So to wrap up, we have seen 3 different types of education. We have talked about formal education, the examples, elementary to secondary school, vocational training, or university. Why? Because they all take place in a classroom with a program or syllabus, with a teacher, and they deliver at the end of the program a certificate or a diploma. We've also talked about non-formal education, and that could be evening classes or literacy classes. Why? Because they take also place in a classroom with a teacher and following a program, but they do not deliver a certificate or a diploma at the end. And then we also talked about informal education, and that we could acquire in theater, within television, or within every daily life experience. Thank you for watching this video, and we are looking forward to see you in the next videos with the next lesson related to education.